Hey guys, so I'm finally here to do a wrap up for 2021. I'm not sure if you gathered, but I didn't actually read a single month in the month of January, but I've brought it back in February by reading 3 books. And also, I'm sorry that I'm just like chilling in my gym gear because I went to the gym this morning, and it's really funny because I went to town, drove the 20 minutes to go to the gym, and then I really wanted a kebab. So I went to the kebab shop and they weren't open. They opened at 11 and I was there at like 10:15. So I have come home, but I'm gonna go back to town to get a kebab. So literally spending over an hour driving twice to get to kebab. That is where I'm at, but I'm excited to do this wrap up. As I said, I only read 3 books and one of them was a reread and one of them was an audiobook, but like I'm excited to get into this. So my dudes, I finally read it. I finally reread Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare. I am so proud of myself that I finally accomplished this, and I don't even know why this is the book that made me start reading again, because I was reading a couple of things in January, and there's books that once I pick them back up again, I will have a bigger wrap up because I was halfway through a book and then I started another book and I was just trying so many things and it just wasn't working for me. Part of me just decided I needed to reread this book, and it was such a good experience. I really enjoyed it, and there was so much from this book that I actually forgot that happened, and even though I know who the main villain is, there was a lot of things that I kind of forgot about. Like I forgot about the lottery thing and like different stuff at the shadow market and different decisions that characters make. Like there was things that just were blank from my mind, and this is always probably going to be my favorite trilogy. Like yes, I haven't read the last book so I can't completely comment on that, but Emma and Julian's friendship and bond and the relationship that they have is just so dear to me. But Julian as a character who has had to raise all of his siblings after all the horrible stuff that happened in the Dark War, like I am just in awe of what Julian has been able to do, because he matured so much as a 12-year-old to have to look after 4 kids at 12, and now at 17, like literally Tabby is his son. Like he's his brother but he's also his son, and then he's looking after Drew, and then he's looking after Ty and Livy, and then Mark comes back and he has to look after Mark as well, and it's just, he has so much on his plate, and I just again am in awe of what Julian has managed to accomplish. And like I can't even like do most basic things in my life, and I'm gonna be 23 in 3 days and I still like, I live at home, I've done nothing with my life, but Julian has the shit going. He's a role model and an inspiration. A really good thing about this series though, and it was the first trilogy where we had a main character that knew what Shadowhunters were, and it was so good because with Clary and Tessa, they had no idea what the Shadow World was and they were chucked into it and they had to deal with so much shit and figure out everything. But Emma knows pretty much everything, and she has trained her whole life. She has become a really intense warrior and she's done so much. So she's a great character to follow, even though she is basically a female version of Jace, because she just has the same snark and ability. Like she's way better, but like, oh, I just love it so much, and I'm excited to continue on with Lord of Shadows. But I've been reading A Court of Silver Flames at the moment, so once I finish that book I'm gonna get back into reading Lord of Shadows. So I don't even know how long my March wrap-up's gonna be, because like these are some thick books. It's like, yes, I am trying to read them, but they are hella thick. But yes, 5 out of 5 stars again for this great reread. Okay, the main reason that I was in such a bad reading slump is I was waiting to get The Edge of Great. Like, I needed to get the Julie and the Phantoms novelization. Like, even though I knew it was going to be bad because novelizations are never good, I needed this because we still haven't got a season 2 and I just needed any type of content that I could get. So I ordered this through Book Depository. I pre-ordered it like a week early on the 26th of December, and it came out on the 7th of January. And it got to the 7th of January and I never got a dispatch notification for Book Depository, and I waited 2 weeks, nothing happened, and I kept emailing them and they weren't responding, and my emails were gradually getting more and more like, you know, where's my book? And then I eventually was able to message through like a chat thing and they refunded me, and I reordered this book through Booktopia, got it like 3 days later. So I finally got this book, and literally nothing I was reading could entice me because I was waiting for this. And then I was reading Lady Midnight, so I actually finished Lady Midnight before I picked this book up because I wanted to like keep going with my hype of Lady Midnight. So I'm sad that this book came so late because I might have read more in the month of January if it came earlier. And I gave this 3 stars because, as I said, it wasn't that great, but it was really interesting because we got to have all of the different perspectives of the characters, and we got like little extra bits of information, like not much, but the thing that irked me a lot is like I I'm pretty sure that this book was written before a lot of the stuff in the script happened, because the Edge of Great scene wasn't in this, and Perfect Harmony wasn't in this, and there were so many things, like Nothing to Lose wasn't in this book. Like, there were so many pivotal Duke scenes that weren't in this book, and also a lot of stuff was just slightly different. Lines where they were like missing a couple of words from the show, so I definitely think this had to be written beforehand, where they had a basic knowledge of what this was going to be about, but not a full thing, because I've watched the show 5 times, so I could literally tell how many of the lines were wrong. But this story is so dear to me, and this was a pretty fun experience, so that's why I'm giving it an average rating, because like I can't hate on it too much for what it actually is. If you are a really big fan, I'd say pick it up, because it was still pretty fun, but like you don't have to. And the last book I read was Mistletoe and Mr Wright by Sarah Morgenthaler. I started listening to this at the start of like December or like late November, and it was a great time for it because this is like a Christmas read, and I was listening to this pretty well in the month of December, but then Julie and the Phantoms happened and I just wanted to listen to the soundtrack at all costs, so pretty much I stopped physically reading, and then I stopped listening to audiobooks, and I listened to the soundtrack in the car for about 4 months. So I've gotten back to listening to audiobooks now, and I'm actually nearly finished another audiobook, so I'm really proud of myself for doing that. This is the second book in the Moose Springs trilogy. I'm pretty sure it's only going to be a trilogy because I'm listening to the 3rd book now. This one is the second book, so the first one was The Tourist Attraction, and that was about Graham and Zoe, and now this one is about Lana and Rick, and Lana is Zoe's best friend from the first book, and Rick is a guy that just has been in Moose Springs for a long time. And this was just great. Like, I really like Lana as a character. She works for this really big property company, and it's like worth billions of dollars, and she goes all over the world working out deals and just being like, she's one of those rules rich people. But Moose Springs is the place that she's always come back to, because when she was younger she went there holidaying with her family, and she's always loved the area. But now she has this project where she wants to try and build condominiums, so she wants to build them so they're like holiday houses for the rich people, but like everyone in Moose Springs hates tourists. Once a town has tourism of this extent and then they don't build on that, that's when towns generally seem to die, because they don't try. So she's trying to help them by like making it so that they have all these areas, but everyone is just fighting her every step of the way. And then she goes to a town meeting, and then she decides, oh, you know what, I'm going to go after the Santa Moose that has been terrorizing all the Christmas decorations, and I'm going to trank it. And then she accidentally tranks our love interest Rick when she's looking for it, and that's when their bond really starts to develop between them, because he decides to help her, and then they get up to like heaps of different things. There's so many funny things happening. Like, there's literally a taxidermy hotel, he has to wear a Santa suit in one scene, and like things just keep happening, and it just keeps building and just gets better and better and better. And also Rick has had a crush on Lana since the first time he met her, but at the time he was married, but now he's not married. And even though there's a lot of stuff there that's quite sad for him, he's free now. So they kind of like, they're just cute because they really have a crush on each other, and they keep saying it's going to be like a summer fling, and I love them so much. And with these books there is always the big issue of something that's not going to let them be together, so I would expect that going into the book, that you know that there's going to be something, because they always mention it. Because like the first one, it was Graham's insistence that he would never date a tourist, even though Zoe was a tourist, and he just kept up that, you know, argument the whole time. And now this one is basically because Rick's in Moose Springs, Lana is part of this very big business, and he never thinks their worlds are going to be able to collide, but they do. And also something in this book happened that was like really sad, and I actually got so concerned because when I was listening to it, it cut off at a point where I just didn't know what was going to happen, and for the whole day at work I was like, I'm stressed. And like once I was able to get back into it, I felt a little bit better. But no, there is some sad stuff in this book, but I just highly recommend these. They're so cute, and I just like love Rick's character because he's such a little bean, and just like these mountain men of like Moose Springs just speak to me, and I love it so much. I don't really have much to hold up to say for my wrap up, but like this is still a pretty big book. I'm proud of myself. And for the read buy tally, this is kind of a lie, okay? Because I did read 3 books and I didn't buy any books, but I technically bought 3 books, even though it's technically not me buying them. Because I got a gift card from work for being an essential worker, and I can buy books from Big W because I work at Woolworths, I bought 3 books with the gift card. But the way that I've always seen this is these are books that I've bought physically with my own money. So if I receive a book from a publisher, it doesn't count. If I receive a gift from someone, it doesn't count. And technically the gift card from Woolies is not my money, so it doesn't count in my mind. So yes, I did buy 3. I will eventually be doing a book haul because I've got like a book haul to do for like 4 months, but like I don't have enough books yet. Like I want it to be like a decent book haul, so I'm hoping that I might film one like maybe in April, because I did just buy 5 books because I had a discount voucher at Book Depository to get 10% off, and I did 2 pre-orders that are gonna come out in May, so I might do those like later, but the other 3 that I bought I'll probably have like a book haul for too. So like a book haul will be coming. But also for the month of January, I didn't read any books and then I bought 3. My TBR is getting a bit higher, but it's staying pretty steady. I just need to start reading again. Oh my god, looking just at the camera roll now, I've been filming for a really long time. I thought this video would be like 5 minutes top, but I guess I just wanted to talk more individually about the books because I had less things to talk about. But anyway guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!